The purpose of a man is to love a woman, and the purpose of a woman is to love a man. So come on, baby, it's time to play. Come on, baby, let's play war games of love, 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 la 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 love. War games of love, baby. War games of love, 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 love. War games of love, baby. Alright, welcome to the hardest part of the ring. Thank you for joining me. This is being released on December 7th, Monday. Happy Pearl Harbor, everybody. Oh dear. Well, here's what you didn't see coming. NXT War Games, December 6th, Sunday, 2020. Oh man, I have 90 problems, and I liked most of it, which is crazy. I watched some of the pre-show. Let me get a slug of water here, you crazy cats. Talk amongst yourselves. Oh. I watched some of the pre-show, and I really enjoy in finger quotes, I enjoy watching every single person wrestling on the card getting out of their car with their bags. I don't know if it's the rental car, their own car, their rolling luggage. Here's what I'm curious, and I honestly don't know. Are the camera people waiting for the wrestlers to the sports entertainers to get out of their vehicles, and the camera people are just hanging out in the parking lot seeing who comes in? Or when, let's say, Damian Priest arrives, does someone say, "Hey, Damian," I doubt they call, I don't know if they call him that, "Hey, Priest, could you go back into your car and then get out again so we can film you getting out of your car? Just take your luggage back and then take your luggage back to the arena." I'm wondering how they do that. I'm wondering if that's annoying. I hope they do it that way, and as annoying as it possibly can be. A lot of great video packages on the pre-shows, of course, and we have Sam Roberts with, who was he talking to? Sam Roberts and somebody else. I forget. We're talking to the UFC commentator guy, Ariel Helwani, and he was running right to the last second. He ran like right into the intro. But they don't talk to the famous. Do we need to hear from this guy? What did he add? I know who he is. I've seen some UFC shows. Nothing is more annoying than watching pro wrestling with a UFC fan. Because first of all, they got to remind you the thing they like is real. The thing they do is sit on the couch and eat Oreos, but the thing they like is real, so that's what... but then they got to tell you, what? You know how you can make that move hurt for real? You know what the real way to do it is? You know, you could really show you. They have to do that, and you can't. I know. I know the thing I'm watching is looking phonier all the time, and it's taking me out of it too. But you are not helping. So if I'm trying to enjoy the Avengers, and there's a cheesy part coming that I know is cheesy, you don't got to tell me it's cheesy. You know why? Because I am watching it. I am aware. And I hate being told how pro wrestling works by people who don't know much about pro wrestling. Because they know UFC, clearly know how pro wrestling works. No, nothing in the world works like pro wrestling works. Everything else in the world works like pro wrestling, but nothing else works like pro wrestling works. I sniffled. Sorry. This is like a third take. I kept sneezing. So the aerial fucking guy, he runs the light like a douchebag. We start off. I didn't even look at my notes. There was no Hogan Andre. Hulk Hogan did not slam Andre the Giant at the beginning of the show. I'll tell you something about War Games before we jump into it. Normally, the outskirts of the ring apron, it's the hardest part of the ring. However, whoa, hey now, nay, I say, this time, hold the phone, stop the press, back the buggy up. If two rings are next to each other, and the hardest part of every ring is on the outside of the ring, now the middle of your new ring, which is two rings, is made up of two hardest parts of the ring. So the middle of the ring, for the only time ever, once a year, it's actually the hardest part of the ring. The women have the War Games match. This was the one where I didn't understand why Io Shirai was the mystery opponent, or mystery partner who we all thought was already in the match. We will talk about Io Shirai. The heels enter. Dakota Kai is in there, and Ember Moon is in there, which makes sense. You need two people who know how to wrestle, and they're both good wrestlers. Ember Moon, of course, comes out with a million and one gimmicks. She does the over-the-top "I'm a badass" smile, then a bell rings, and she goes stone face, as if the entire match she's waiting to catch someone for one of their wacky dives. We will talk about it. But nevertheless, Ember and Dakota were the best choices. So this is the first time in War Games history that a babyface team has ever had the coin toss or the advantage. It used to be a coin toss. I guess they just gimmicked the coin, or I don't think the camera could catch it. They just told you it was tails or whatever the hell. They didn't care. So I was interested to see how they're going to do this. How are you going to give the babyfaces the advantage and get any sympathy on them? Thank God for Raquel Gonzalez, who ended up being the MVP of this match. And yes, I'm going to spoil it because if you haven't seen it yet, why are you listening to me? I'm some fucking guy. Raquel Gonzalez gets the pin in this match on Io Shirai. And she needed it. And she didn't just get the pin. She was great in this match. And it was believable to have her get in there and tower over Ember and... Oh, Sloppy? Yeah, Ember, Sloppy, Blackheart. So Ember got in there. Raquel got in there fourth. And I think that's right. And so this allowed Raquel to lay out the faces. So when Rhea ends up in fifth, they can have their stare down, have their moment. Rhea Ripley, much like Adam Cole later, was good in the match, but it didn't have as much to do. They were stars and safe later, which is fine. Goddamn Sloppy Blackheart. We knew she got a new tank. We know. She got a tank and a helmet. It looks like Gremlins too. She's got green hair, which is the appropriate color of the hair, considering the way she wrestles. I'm less of a fan of her all the time, and they love her. She's on a team with Rhea Ripley, and Io Shirai, who's the women's champion, and Ember Moon, who's accomplished. She's a former champion, this. And she's been on Raw and everything else. She should be a big deal. Shotzi is the goddamn captain. Why? Because she gets a tank. Her hair is green. Shotzi, I noticed, can lay her shit in very good. Likes to give out some hard bumps, okie dokie. And blocks everything she gets hit with. And that is my least favorite type of pro wrestler. The one who gives it out just fine. Lay your shit in, brother. Gotta look good, man. Don't be stiff. Be snug. Don't be stiff. Okay. I get it. I was trained by the goddamn Samoans. I know. But similar to a lot of their best buddies, not the Samoans themselves, but a lot of their buddies, man, they could lay it in, and man, they just couldn't take it. Skinhead Ivan from Jersey All Pro, if you're out there, fuck you, you're a pussy, you can't take it. Chili from the Latin Hit Squad, you're another pussy, you couldn't take it. I don't care. What was my original point? Homicide and Friends. Fuck you guys. What was my point? Shotzi Blackheart has a tank. She has a million, she's the world of a million gimmicks there. So, Ember Moon, if you're going to have the last name Moon, maybe don't wear an outfit that requires you to pull your pants up so many times. Toni Storm, unfortunately, she was in, not unfortunately she was in here, fortunately she was in here. Unfortunately, she also, like Rhea, didn't do that much. The announcers once did not play up the history with Rhea and Toni, and I'm curious as to why that is. Aside from that, I loved everything Wade and Beth did tonight, so kudos to them. Toni Storm was uncovering exposed turnbuckles. She was taking the buckle off, and I don't remember them using the exposed buckle all that much. It seemed like in both War Games matches, everyone who entered needed to go under the same exact part of underneath the ring next to the steps, because that's where the camera is, that's where the entrance to the thing is, blah, 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 and take out another weapon, and that actually got old fast. They do this ridiculously stupid bump. Not that one. We're getting to it. There's 6 women bumping. They do like a double Tower of Power, too sweet to be sour. After this match, I needed a shower. It's like a bunch of them superplex each other, and I think it was 2 different moves. I was impressed that they got two bumps to make the same noise, which is really hard to do. Very impressive. Could not be more contrived and cooperative, and look like we're all dancing, and look like we're setting up to make a highlight reel for some indie promoter. I almost said Outlaw Mud Show. That's another podcast. Okay. But, yeah. That killed it. That was the worst part of the match for me. That actually took me out of it. That big, impressive 6-woman bump. It hurt the match for me. I actually still enjoyed it. Io is kept out of the match. Candice sneaks in and She's being a heel. She's again. I say this every week. Candice is doing better with this turn than Johnny Gargano. I believe her more. I believe, especially Southern California. Oh yeah, I could believe she could be more entitled and full of herself than anybody. Indy Hartwell runs in, and I think she helped beat up Io Shirai. She's in a neck brace. 3 referees. Sorry to be sexist to you. I'm not. Whatever. 3 adult male referees can't stop a 120-pound woman in a neck brace. They just can't do anything about it. Now it's time. Um, all I wrote was an exclamation points and an underline in my notes. That wasn't normal. Io Shirai to get into the match and make the War Games match officially start. And side note, that drives me bananas. I never understood that part of War Games in all its incarnations. Well, it doesn't officially start until all 8 of them are in there. Well, doesn't it officially start when the first 2 lock up in the bell rings? I understand the match can't end until all 8 are in there. I get that. But why is it pretended like it's a different match? It's not a different match. It's the same match. I don't know. I don't know. It's nitpicking, but whatever. Io Shirai did. There was no. It's a high cross body. There's no flippity do. There's no backflip. There's no this. There's no that. And I'm pretty sure last year without even looking it up, I'm sure she did a moonsault off the top of the thing onto 1 or 2 women catchers or something. I'm sure she did a backflip off the thing last year. She has a high crossbody with one of those big old metal garbage cans over the upper half of her body, so she can't see where she's going, and does this jump and crashes onto the 7 of them who are waiting. Raquel Gonzalez, and no one talks about this part, Raquel Gonzalez took most of this, which makes sense. And Rhea also took a chunk of it, which also makes sense. And the other 2 were there to, kind of block it and crumble. The other 2, the other 5, whatever the hell it was. So Raquel and Rhea are your heroes here. Raquel actually did where she puts one hand is up high, one hand's low, and catches it like you would a high cross body, which makes perfect sense as that happens to be in the form of a garbage can. And even if Io Shirai is 120, whatever, 10 pounds, drop 110 pounds on yourself from 9 feet in the air, and it won't feel too good. Add the metal garbage can. She is absolutely bananas, and here's not just that visual, if that's not enough. There's 2 other things that made this great. Before she does it, instead of the stone face, oh my god, I'm about to do a crazy stunt, I'm nervous, I'm looking like I'm about to try not to kill myself and everybody else. Instead, she screams like a crazy person, lets you know she's a crazy person, puts the garbage can over her head like a crazy person, does the move like a crazy person. So I'm going to believe she's a crazy person. And also, the other thing, Vic Joseph, the other guy, the Michael Cole sound-alike, right before she puts the garbage can on her head, that's when he uses the Genius of the Sky moniker, which is kind of silly, but I like it. It's growing on me anyway. It makes me smile, but I'm not sure it's for the right reason. As soon as he says the word genius, that's when she begins putting a garbage can on her head. Kudos to her. Io was awesome, and Io took that rugged boob slam through a ladder which broke, and Raquel damn near kills her for the 1-2-3 match. Gets 78 stars. 78 stars. I wrote Wade covers for a goofy spot, but I can't remember what the goofy spot was. Somebody did something goofy, and Wade Barrett had to make up something different. Oh well, that's what happens when you wait a day to record after seeing this. So, this was the right call. Io and Raquel are the MVPs of this. I became my fandom of Io Shirai is reinvigorated. I was critical of her just being the hold the belt for Rhea champion, but since she beat Rhea and then she did this, I'm more interested in her all over again. I could not be less. I'm actually less interested in Sloppy Blackheart after all this. But the thing is, Io needed an opponent, and she went through Dakota. She went through Candice. Who the hell else is in a match? Oh, Tony Storm. Well, we'll get there, and they'll do it. Um, Maybe the announcers can mention the backstory of. Didn't one of them beat the other one for the first Mae Young thing and the Evolution pay per view they did 2 years ago? Who won that? I think Tony won it. Did she? I don't know. One of them won it. So, but then again, they didn't mention the Tony Rhea history either. It's like Tony Storm just showed up one day, was a babyface for 3.5 minutes, and turned heel. We don't know why. Um, but Io needs a new opponent. And Dakota and Candice she already went through, and Raquel is a different type of match for Io. So, and also Io, like I said, right after Io beat Rhea a few weeks ago, Io can't do another babyface match. She needs a heel. I mean, she's liked, but she's not loved. She's liked. She's loved. I mean, she's. I think this ups her status a bit. Hopefully, in the eyes fans. I think live fans obviously would have gone crazy for it. Oh, but let's move on. Timothy Thatcher and Tommaso Ciampa. We have two dudes who look like badasses, who looked like they were trying to beat each other, looked like they were trying to win the match, looked like they wanted to hurt each other, looked like they did hurt. Excuse me, when it happens. Looked like they did hurt each other, and not just because of the blood on the ear or anything, which is great, but Ciampa wins with a pinfall. He does the DDT from the apron, which is the hardest part of the ring. And it looks like the feud isn't over. They had an interesting stare down after it. And of course, they sold Ciampa's neck surgery. They went in through the throat and his injuries and everything else. So they're doing a little bit of a different thing with Ciampa too. So I'm interested to see more. I don't think we're done with them. I hope not. I enjoyed not really too much to say. Just physical, hard hitting, and you needed that grounded match after a double cage with flips with garbage cans on our heads and Sky Geniuses and everything else. We needed that. So that was the right match to go there. Well, without even looking at my notes, I can tell you the very next match. Oh, wait a minute. 99 stars for Ciampa and Timothy Thatcher. Oh, there was the superplex. Yeah, Ciampa did the superplex close to the finish. It may not, the biggest bump may not have been the finish, but it was close to it. So hey, I'll take it. Where he did like an arch back, so it looked like his neck was in even more danger, and he tucks it back at the last second. So he's great. Next, we have to have the strap match. We gotta do Grimes. We gotta do Dexter Lumis. And pretend Dexter Lumis is scary. Cameron Grimes sneaks in some joke with the phrase strap on, like I'll put the strap on myself or something like that. He is something very clever. Good for him. Somebody said something about going back to the abyss. I don't know what that means. But nobody tried to win this thing for a long time, and the announcers didn't tell you the rules. So we didn't know. I didn't hear the announcers once, and I watched this thing alone, so I wasn't talking to anybody. I didn't hear anyone say anything about touching the four corners or pinfall submission. I am fine with them not doing the four corners and just doing a pinfall or submission. It doesn't have to be the four corners, because that's the way we always did it. Okay, but you gotta tell me what the rules are. I'm willing to forget the four corner thing. You gotta tell me what the rules are. And the announcers weren't telling us. I don't know if they knew either. Because, I mean, nobody's trying to pin each other for a while. Loomis does win the thing. 11 stars. Wait, it's wrong. 112 stars, excuse me. So I didn't like it very much. And then after we got that over with, we see a crow and spooky music. And it was Sting. Sting showed up in an NXT t-shirt, and he just stared at the baby faces. And we gave him $20,000. That did not happen. That is false. That is false. Bob, what do you think of Sting and AEW? I don't care, and I like Sting, and I still don't care. He's not going to do anything. He's going to be part of Team Cody and friends, and Cody's going to adopt him. Cody likes to rescue the old guys and, brag about his rescues. It says TikTok, and it's clearly what's his face, the Killian Cross guy. TikTok, by the way, that wasn't. The announcers have heard Karrion Kross all say TikTok several times. So when they hear that, they act like they've never heard it before, and they don't know who it is. I think we all know who it is. And also, the other thing with that is TikTok wasn't in reference to a catchphrase. It was actually the Karrion Kross was telling us the only app WWE is allowing them to use and not stealing their money from them. We did the three-way North American title. Hey, I like this. Priest enters, Gargano enters, Leon Ruff enters. They did the intros differently. They did the lights out and a spotlight, which was great, and it gives us us a break visually from all the goddamn computer screen people. There was a razor's edge on Leon Ruff, and they thought they killed him. So Priest shows remorse, but he still wants to win. So it's great how Priest played everything here. They put him through, and Ruff comes back. Then the six Scream guys, you gotta say Ghostface, you can't say Scream. They all jump up on the apron, which is the hardest part of the ring. Eventually, one of them has a lead pipe in a kitchen and a candlestick and hits what's-his-face, Priest, and Gargano wins the thing. So this was good. I mean, Priest was awesome. At least he beat up like 9 out of the 10 Scream guys. And 330 stars. Gargano was once again a North American champion. So he can't go to the main roster because what would you do with him there? And he can't. He's just there. I don't know. He's just on NXT now. But Gargano having the belt instead of Ruff makes sense if Finn's not quite back yet. But there was a Finn commercial somewhere in this that said he was coming back. I'm assuming Finn and Cross are both going to return at the same time and feud with each other. Why am I assuming things? This was a great little joke where I wanted to go, grr, but you got me. You made me laugh. Austin Theory is in one of the Scream costumes, and he said it was me, comma, Austin, all along. And I could throw back to the Attitude Era fans. You got it. Okay, it was funny. I hope it wasn't him just so they could do that line, because it's already they're tweeting it, and they're going to have him repeat the joke 3 times, which is always hilarious. I don't know. Then, because we've been listening to Black Sabbath's War Pigs over and over, they sold us on the Paranoid album, which is 48 years old. Thanks for that new album from Black Sabbath. I'm going to go sure to check it out. Again, the first time I checked it out, I was 13 years old and I bought the CD, which hadn't existed yet because the CD was not the first incarnation of the album. An album was the first incarnation of the album. I've owned that CD for longer than half the roster's been alive. But one thing I grew even more paranoid about was the men's War Games match. What did I do? 330 stars for the North American. Did I say that already? I don't think. Okie dokie. So this was good. And the thing about the men's, and I loved half of it. I'm gonna bitch. This is a long one today. A lot on my mind. This match, I initially raised an eyebrow at the women's match having the babyface advantage, but upon watching it, maybe they watched it last year and someone, maybe it occurred to somebody. Had both heel teams won the coin toss, aside from always being ridiculous, they would have had to kind of have the same match, both the men and women, and that's not good. So this worked out better. Maybe next year the men's faces will have the advantage of the women. I don't fucking know. But still really not so great to have the faces have the advantage, but I kind of get it so they could at least tell 2 different stories, which is the most important thing. Not too much to say here about the great, and I don't want to harp on the bad for too long, so I'm running long here. Kyle O'Reilly and Pete Dunne are the superstars of this match, hands down. Of course, they started, and again, they had to be grounded, had to take their sweet time getting to where they're going to go, and they did. They couldn't fly all over the place, not like right away anyway. Like the women, they kind of looked like 2 guys in a giant cage trying to kill each other. Orny is going in. They double team Kyle. Fish evens up the odds. Danny Burch has a cricket bat. That was interesting because he's British, you get it. And he's wailing away, but then Roddy comes in and he fires up. And I don't think he did this right away, but later on he would do his forearms to a handful of guys while they were in between the 2 rings on both ring aprons, both the hardest parts of the rings. Pat McAfee is the final heel, and it all went to shit. They just Shane McMahon'd the shit out of this thing. We have a non-wrestler, we have a manager. He was not in good shape because if he had abs, we would see them all the time. So he has no body, by the way. There's no way he would have his shirt up or off all the time if this dude is in any kind of real shape. Has to slowly, and it's fine. He's really the manager who really shouldn't be in here. So he brings in the 4 tables for his henchmen to use. They're all labeled with the faces' names on it. That was cute. I got no problem there. Takes his sweet time and just takes cheap shots. Well, that's perfect. That's what a manager should do until it goes to shit. Adam Cole finally gets in there, and he has trouble getting in the cage thing as well. And he uses a fire extinguisher to get in there, okay. And Adam Cole, much like Rhea Ripley, was great in this, but just not much to do. It wasn't in there as long, and where's it going to go? And so it was really Kyle O'Reilly's match. Goddamn stupid Pat McAfee. Stupid goddamn Pat McAfee. This is where the stupid Mark let him do whatever he wants because he's a football guy. Bullshit comes into play. He no-sells a moonsault. He moonsaults Kyle through a table. And I think they actually got the labeling wrong. He put Kyle through, like, the Cole table or something. He fucked up somehow. And any other wrestler on the roster would moonsault the guy through a table and sell it like it hurt him as well. Pat pops up and like, duh, cool, I did a cool move. Fuck you. No business. No business in a goddamn wrestling business. I'm sitting here hurt. I'm not bitter. He no-sells some punches from Kyle O'Reilly, too, because they're trading back and forth, and he's just trading back and forth like that's cool. I don't care how long Kyle's been in the ring. Don't come at me with that argument. Kyle's a wrestler. Pat's a fucking manager. Then Pat does a mark out fucking figure 4 on one of the guys. Roderick Strong broke someone else through Adam Cole's table, I wrote. Okay, so maybe someone else got maybe Kyle got moonsaulted by Pat through Strong's table. I don't know. Well, the table wasn't that strong if it broke. Okay, Pat takes a good back bump off a ladder onto some chairs or something. Very good for him. But he keeps moving. He should be dead selling. He should not be moving a muscle. You just did this big speech so you can get applause that doesn't exist because there's no fans about you respect Pat Patterson before your heel promo. You respect Pat Patterson so much, asshole, then why were you moving a muscle? You should have been completely dead after that. A manager falling off a ladder onto chairs. I respect Pat Patterson. Oh, why? So we can clap for you before you play heel? Asshole. Then we have a big fake dive from stupid goddamn Pat McAfee, who took too long to do the jump, and he had the I'm scared as shit look on his face that EO didn't have, and he took too long, so that means the other guys are standing there for an extra 5 seconds, waiting on him, actually buries everyone in the fucking match, makes him look dumb, and then now he takes a reverse pile driver, the Panama Sunrise from Adam Cole, and he kicks out because he's a manager, of course. He shouldn't be seen for 2 months. He should be in a neck brace, running around threatening to sue everybody for 2 months. Kicks out of the Panama Sunrise. Fuck you for that, too. There's a bunch of finishes. Nobody gets beat. Kyle O'Reilly eventually does some kind of knee to a chair to beat Oney Lorcan, because why would you pin the manager? So the two tag team champions, one of the only 2 champions in a match at the moment, gets beat, so fuck your tag team and fuck your tag titles. Lorcan loses to Kyle. So Kyle gets the win, and I think it was the right move. It gives him a little bit of piss back from, the Finn loss, which losing to Finn Balor is not a big deal. Okay, this shit doesn't matter as much, but it does, it doesn't take Cole down. It elevates Kyle up closer to Cole. So Kyle gets the pin, and Yui celebrates. No other shenanigans, no other bullshit, no other British guys carrying them around, pretending that they're dead until he blows a knee out next week. 94 stars the match gets. This was War Games. War Games is over. It was an endless War Games. It was a needless War Games. And you know what? I cannot support War Games while still supporting the troops. And the best place to support the troops is the hardest part of the ring.